grab a drink, because this is hangover time.
Can y'all see me? My internet is trash right now. Can y'all hear me?
It ain't me. It ain't me tonight.
Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're a little delayed.
I'm a little bit delayed.
And we can hear ourselves. Are your headphones working? Excellent start.
Let's
I can hear you
go.
Fucking Heat win. Heat win. Let's fucking go. Listen, Heat win. Jimmy Butler, clutch. All right, we've said it all the time. In crunch time, you go to Jimmy Butler. We've never said that because he's been awful, but he was great tonight. Duncan Robinson, part of the rotation, in your fucking face, nameless Twitter user. Max Strus, bombing away. Gabe Vincent, a plus fucking 29 or some shit off the bench. Dwayne Dedmon,
right.
not a complete fucking disaster. I mean, everything came together tonight. It was an awesome win. I mean, the Heat absolutely needed this win because the Dolphins were taking over the zeitgeist in South Florida. I have something playing in my background that's completely distracting me. Listen, it's a bad start to the show, but fuck it, take me out, Brass.
There we go.
That was goddamn awful. I don't know what happened. I have shit playing in my headphones. My fucking internet's doing bad. I don't care.
If it takes a shitty show to get a Heat win, I will take it.
Listen,
It's our first hangover time win of the season.
Dump closer Robinson. Like, let's talk about it. Max Strus, when the whites are hitting.
Well,
I was gonna make a joke, but with everything Kyrie been talking about lately, I need to calm myself down. Oh, sorry. Listen,
Keep it moving. Next segment.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We have a full show tonight. So excited. Finally, the fucking Heat pulled off a win on a hangover time night. If you're watching live on Twitch, we love you. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, thank you. We love you as well. But tune in for the live show on Twitch. It's even better. The chat is lit. We have a great time. I am Alphonse Sidney, a.k.a. Alf954. Welcome into the Miami Heat Beat postgame show, Hangover Time. And we are going to go to our favorite segment that we haven't been able to do yet because the Heat keep fucking losing. We are going to do What Are You Drinking? Let's go, Brass. I literally didn't see any of that video. Like, I don't know what's going on with the internet over here tonight.
Damn it.
nice.
I don't know if it's the baby. I don't know what's happening. I had a baby.
Blame it on the child?
Baby. Now, what is that? What type of parent?
Baby out here on her tablet and shit. I know she's an infant and she's a newborn.
They mess with the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they do. It's the, I don't know, the hormones. I have no idea. But we are gonna do What Are You Drinking? But not just What Are You Drinking? I don't want to just hear about your drink. I want you to tell me what you're drinking. I want you to toast your player of the game. You know, do one of them Leonardo DiCaprio shit. Just toast that motherfucker. Just like that. Toast that motherfucker. Bruce, you know, look at Bruce. Bruce looks like he's been doing this for years. Let's go.
Look at that face.
Let's go, Moose.
Is it me? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's your turn, man. Jeez, let's speed this up, man. We want to talk about the game.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to give it over to, normally I would give it to my guy, Tyler Herro, but he's got an eye situation. So I'm going to give a shout out to Bam, who was fantastic tonight. 19-7-7 with a killer block that I think we may be saying later. So I will give Bam my toast drip drop of the game.
Tiff,
That is perfect.
Yes, sir.
who are you toasting as your player of the game?
All right. So, first of all, I got school tomorrow. So, it's some nice water in this bottle.
Man, the pandemic
Y'all
done
know-
messed up our show.
Yeah, you know it.
Niggas gotta go to
But y'all
work in the
know,
morning.
y'all
and
know
shit.
how I do. I got real things to do. Mr. Inconsistency himself, as Twitter likes to call him, but my guy, you know who it is. Brass, hit me with it one time. Max
Feel it.
motherfucking Strus.
The Strus is loose.
The Strus is loose. Take me out.
Get it. Get it. Brass, what player are you toasting tonight?
Well, for one thing, I got to go with what I'm drinking. I've been wanting to do this. I made an old fashioned tonight because this is an old fashioned Heat win. This is what we're used to. This is what we've been expecting this season, and it hasn't really happened like this yet. But I'm doing a special old fashioned. I'm doing a smoky old fashioned.
Whoa.
Oh God.
Whoa.
Joey and I thought something else was about to happen.
So turn this down before I set the smoke alarm off. I'm gonna go with Bam. I liked his aggression tonight. What I think he had 15 attempts. I mean, he's what was that?
17 attempts.
So
Oh no, my bad. 15. That was Jimmy. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So I just found he got there were some dicey calls in the end there, but again, I really liked his aggression. I'm really happy with his play, and I'm gonna take a sip of this.
Wow. That's
What Fix says
fancy.
Bill
Class
Kennedy.
Braz.
Bill Kennedy is the new PJ Tucker. That little man is swole. Like just popping out that little ref shirt. Just,
They get them tailored. They get them tailored.
I imagine so because like just out here swole. Anyway, sorry, Joey. Joey, who are you toasting? Joey, is this your first show? Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh, look at that! Hey,
Thank you.
Welcome
Good
back,
to be
Joey.
back. Missed everybody.
And you moved to Denver. You moved out of the garage.
Yeah, I did.
How's your mom doing without you? She okay?
Joseph.
Yeah, she's okay. Haven't talked to her since I left, but I'm sure she's fine.
Joseph, you have to bring your mother.
Joey, what are you drinking tonight, and who are you toasting to?
All right, so I got some 19 Crimes, which I believe is Deshaun Watson's wine.
Jesus Christ!
I don't know. Might be a couple more now.
Oh man.
Oh God.
I'll bring him back because I'm not going to cancel him. I mean, Deshaun Watson wasn't.
I got it in a mug.
No, that was great.
This is like a single mom life hack. Wine in a mug. I'm gonna toast. You got to give it up to Dwayne Dedman. Out of the way, +7. Gave us 9 points. That's all we need from you, old man. Please.
Listen, yo, I wanted to bring that up later. Yes, exactly. Like, just don't be a disaster.
Yeah.
Like,
Stand there. Yeah.
Listen, and my man tried. My man tried with the step back threes.
Mhm.
Like he tried to fuck shit up. Like I'm telling, like he was a Carlton on like one episode of fucking Fresh Prince. He was trying to
Moose
fuck
at
shit
the
up.
movie Spectacular.
Yes, callback. But Dedman was trying his best to fuck shit up, and he just couldn't. Like, thank you, Dwayne Dedman. Siobhan, what are you drinking, and who are you toasting as your player of the game? Very sophisticated look from Siobhan tonight.
Oh, thank you.
We got the art in the background, turtleneck. So go ahead, do your thing.
This is some rum and fruit punch. Rum and fruit punch.
Okay.
It's quite tasty though. And player of the game, toasting. We're gonna go ahead and give it to shout out Carla Tiana. Give it to the guy on an abysmal shooting performance. He still's out there with that +29. So hey, when he's bad, he's still good. Look at my guy. Shout out to him.
I will say my
Second
man was
best
out here
shooter on the team.
defending the best, maybe the best player in the game right now, Steph Curry.
He had like 2 push-offs against JP. Got him 2 quick fouls. Like he was good.
Yeah,
I need
I
him.
think y'all burying the lead. I
Go
think
ahead,
y'all
what's
burying
that,
the
Tiff?
lead.
Left
I
it.
think
I left it
Gabe-
for Alf.
I think. I think.
Oh no,
Gabe
I'm
led us
ready.
in-
I'm ready. I'm just letting Tip go first.
I think Gabe led us in rebounds.
Excuse me.
Go ahead, look at this box.
If
score real
not,
quick.
he was up there because I
He
counted
was
at least
number
7.
one in rebounds, 8
Yeah.
rebounds.
Duh.
Wow.
Wow.
Listen.
Well, Tyler missed a lot of the game, so yeah.
Oh
my
God.
Oh, there was no
Okay.
one to steal him out of Gabe's hand. You're right. Cool.
Hey, still counts. Still counts in the stat sheet. Get them all.
So, I guess it's my turn. I am drinking actually weirdly Monster and vodka tonight because I have a child and I haven't slept in days, so I needed a little pick me up. But I didn't need it tonight because motherfucking Duncan Robinson is all the energy we need. Okay, motherfucking Duncan Robinson, who I was told because Udonis Haslam played last game, is out of the rotation, not part of the team. They might as well left his ass out there in Portland, Sacramento, wherever the fuck they've been. All right, they told me Duncan Robinson had nothing to do with Miami Heat and the Miami Heat success. Motherfucking Duncan Robinson showed his ass tonight. Every time he entered the game, energy, driving to the basket, dishing, throwing lobs to motherfucking Bam Adebayo. Somebody got to pass the fucking Bam. And if it ain't fucking Duncan, I don't know who doing it. So Duncan out here throwing lobs and shit, hitting three, 4 3-pointers in the fourth quarter. Mr. Fourth Quarter, as Moose likes to not call him. Listen, what I really want to say is like Duncan, Max, these guys, they're real 3-point shooters. I'm not talking about guys who can shoot. I'm talking about 3-point shooters. When those guys are going, this offense looks different. This team looks different. This team looks more energetic. The ball is moving more, and they need more of that from those guys. I'm not blaming nobody but them. Max and Duncan need to continue to be better, and as they go, the Heat's offense will go. Not necessarily the defense, but as they go, the Heat's offense will go. Go ahead, take me out, Brad.
Dos leches.
Listen, they told me that because Udonis Haslam played last game, that Duncan Robinson is no longer in the Heat's rotation.
Well, resurrected tonight. This was by far the Duncan Robinson game. Best performance I've seen from him in like a year. Defensive switches were excellent. He was looking off. He was getting the ball out in offensive rhythm. He was making every single shot from deep. You saw his confidence just going up throughout the entire game.
Moose, what I like this season, and honestly, Tiff and Siobhan, I'm giving y'all props because y'all been saying it for years. Use that gravity to your advantage. Get in the paint. There's one guy who can get in the paint for some reason on every possession, and it's Duncan Robinson. And Max Strus is doing it as well. And they're getting in the paint, using their gravity to create for others. Like Duncan Robinson is not just making his own shots, he's creating for others. And like that's the shit we need, because I'm watching the starting lineup, and it's like 4 dudes sitting around the perimeter with Bam at the free throw line. And as soon as those bench guys come in, Siobhan, hey, Florida man, AJ. Carly Tiana says, I miss this so much. But as I'm watching the bench unit come in, Siobhan, all of a sudden I see energy. I see movement. I see guys flying around. Like, it's a whole different energy when those bench guys come in and when they're actually getting the ball and they're making their shots. Yeah, you see a different, like a different cohesion. These are dudes who, along with Kyle, when Jimmy and Ben were out last season, they're the ones that kept us in, like kept us afloat, not even kept us afloat. They like elevated us. Gabe, Max, Duncan have a really, really good feel for one another. And that's what, like you said, they're not guys who are going to beat you one-on-one off the dribble. I don't know who Duncan thinks he is. Maybe he might start doing that this season. But the ball moves, it pops. And when multiple people are allowed to touch it, it's a building of energy. And I know people all woo-woo or think it's woo-woo and nonsensical, but energy and rhythm and momentum and basketball is an actual very real and tangible thing. So when multiple people are able to touch it, are able to get involved, you see people making good passes, but we're keeping moving. We continue to move, and it feels different, like you said. And it has to be more of that through the starters, through the bench unit. I'm happy that we have a group that can do it. We just need to see more of it. But it's absolutely a real intangible thing. And that's going to be the way that this team sees success. 32 assists tonight. And it was felt. And I think a big difference tonight, Tiff, 41 rebounds to 39. He got out rebounded, but it wasn't like last time.
Right. It wasn't drastic.
No, it's not. Like I said, just don't be a fucking disaster. I think that's my mantra for the season. Like, just don't be the worst I've ever seen.
Put it on a t-shirt.
And then, like, what? Don't be a disaster.
Don't fuck it up.
I think the offensive rebounds last game were, I'm gonna say this wrong, it was like 27-8. After being 8-8 in the first half, right? And they just ran out of gas in the second half, and Golden State just killed them on the boards. So tonight it was 10-9 offensive rebounds. They lost the battle, but it's like just be in the game, Tiff. It's not rocket science.
But that's the thing, and it goes back to everybody getting touches.
Yep.
If you get touches, you're active. If I believe Alpha's going to pass me the ball, fuck it. I'm hustling. I'm trying to get the rebound, to get the break started, and do all those things. The guy's just like, when the ball's not moving, everybody's... And that's pretty much, excuse me, that's pretty much what we've been looking like. We've just been looking very stale and stagnant. But tonight, I think also when Duncan saw that first shot go in,
Yes.
Max saw that shot go in,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, a little more pep in the step. And Jimmy
And
kind of
looser.
said, but notice too, Jimmy paced himself.
Yep.
He paced himself until the end of the game, and then he just started going full force on the defense, getting to the basket, looking for shooters. It all works together.
And that's how Jimmy wants to play.
100%.
Yeah.
Especially
that's
if it's
the
going to be all season.
My
Exactly.
internet messed up.
Yeah, me and you, we
did. You're
doing
okay
bad
now.
over here. We doing
Okay.
bad over here. Kenny, just
Oh no, I'm crispy tonight. Though. I don't want.
yeah, you're good. Kenny
jinx it.
foisted his internet on us, which I feel is racist, but I'm not gonna get into that shit. Moose, something that should
No, don't go to me now. Don't go. Fuck that. Go somewhere else. Somewhere else. What the hell are you doing?
No,
Come on.
seriously. Something that Siobhan said is like Jimmy wants to play this way. Like people are complaining,
yeah.
oh, Jimmy's not getting his touches. Jimmy don't want touches. Like Jimmy wants to chill until the playoffs, but he needs other guys to step up and help him out. He honestly wants to chill to like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And he just needs other guys to step up. Tonight, you saw Kyle doing a little bit more after a really like non-existent first half. No Tyler, so that's usually that go-to guy. But you had guys like Duncan and guys like Max, especially Max, like really step up and take over that secondary scoring role. This is the way I feel like Jimmy wants to play, right?
Absolutely. Listen, Jimmy wants to play with as many shooters as he can to kind of alleviate the offensive load on him because he's got to play such a dominant game on both sides of the floor that to withstand that throughout the entire game, throughout the entire regular season, especially at this age with his mileage, he knows that he can't do that. We got to give him more credit with how aware he is of his own body and like his limitations as far as how far he can push it in the regular season, because he knows what is going to be needed of him in the postseason. So as many minutes as he can preserve now, that's only going to benefit us in the long run. Yeah, he wants to chill until it's nut crunching time, and then he can take over.
Naughty crotty. Joey, how do you describe nut crunching time? No, seriously. Tonight, I really, I did see.
Well,
I saw more from Kyle Lowry tonight. I didn't like him in the first half. Like I was mad at Kyle. I was pissed. Like, I was ready to go on a rant about Kyle Lowry tonight. Like, just impact the game in some way. And that's the thing. And honestly, in the first quarter, he had like 3 or 4 assists. He was moving the ball, but just like impacting the game, like getting the charges, which he hasn't gotten all year. Assists, even if you're not scoring. But like I feel like in the second half, he showed up and it really helped. It really helped drive the team.
well, I mean, it's just like you say. It's like he has to do one thing good, you know? I mean, whether it's passing the ball or whether it's scoring. But I will say the catch and shoot from the top of the key, it is post Nutcracker season. Yeah, I mean,
Yes, correct.
12 months a year, it's Nutcracker season for me. So what Fig said. But yeah, I mean, as long as Kyle gives you something, I guess he'll his back will. Chris Paul's the best Nutcracker. Okay, I'm getting all that. Yeah, please. Any questions about nut crunching, please just send them my way at this point. I mean, who even cares about
Slide in his DMs.
Please slide in the DMs, hashtag nut crunch, hashtag hangover time. Yeah, more nut cracking,
Hashtag
right? Yeah, Draymond, of course. Anyone else?
What was the question?
I have no idea
It's about
anymore.
nuts.
It was about Bam Adebayo and his connection with Duncan Robinson, I believe.
Yeah.
Sure.
I do
Oh, yeah,
remember
they
doing
Really
that.
weird segue. into, and I honestly, I might have the wrong Gaga, and my internet is so bad, I will not see the video until it's over. So I'm gonna let who wants to do the Gaga of the game?
Moose, take it.
Moose, you got it.
Okay.
Narrate the Gaga. I have no idea what's about to happen.
I'm going to be seeing it right now for the first time. Let's do
this.
Let's
go ahead. I won't see it until it's over. So let's go ahead.
Okay.
Hit the Gaga.
All right, so as you can all see here, we got my guy Drip Drap at the top of the key. He's driving down, and he passes it back to Bam, who goes on the rim. Two-handed flush. See that?
Watch the feet here.
His heels almost touch his back.
Yeah,
That's his favorite style
line
of
to
dunk.
the rim. Up, well,
That's
a little bit under.
That's his favorite style of dunk. You know, LeBron has the one-handed tomahawk. Bam's favorite shit is the crank it from behind his head.
It looks awesome.
You're not stopping that. You're not getting in the way of that.
Yeah.
I did that before.
Hell no. I'm not standing in front of that.
You did what? Go. What'd you say?
Oh no, I just said I did that before, but we could just. It was before cameras, so it's like.
Come on, Will.
I did it so many times.
Like Taco Fall in China. Y'all seen that video?
Oh my God.
That shit ain't right. That shit like me playing with preschoolers.
His hand in the forehead.
Yeah. And honestly, the way he pulling up on that rim, like you should be ashamed of yourself, Taco Fall. Fucking ashamed of yourself.
You feel good about yourself?
You feel good about that, Taco Fall? You're just beating up on 5'7" dudes. Like, come on. Anyway, that's how Bill Russell used to play the game, but that's neither here or there.
Bill Russell's the Chinese Taco Fall.
Can that be the name of this episode?
Mark it.
But Moose, man, tonight, big win. The Heat needed this shit.
The locker room needed this. This is
especially with what the Dolphins
win.
are doing, according to Giancarlo Navas. The Dolphins and the Heat can't be good at the same time. They
Can I just say, as soon as the Bradley Chubb deal went down, shout out to Chris Greer finally doing something good. The first message I see in our group chat is G saying, "Heat better fucking win tonight."
But legit, like the Heat needed this win. They really,
they really did though. Like the locker room needed
2 and 5 feel real different.
The locker room needed this. There was starting to be some tension, some stress building up in the locker room. Totally understandable with the way the record was. This was a kind of felt like the team we saw last year for most of the first half, if you will. So it was good for them to see that. 6 of the next 7 games are at home. This is a good stretch to start getting into a little rhythm, start feeling good about yourself, start getting that late game offense that we're always complaining about, start getting that going. So I have some confidence in this, like I said, in these next 6 of 7 games at home to try and, get things going a little bit.
It felt nice, like starting at 2 of 5 going into this game, and then we started off really hot. Then the Warriors kind of went on a run, and it just felt like there were a couple moments in this game it felt like it was slipping away because the Warriors do Warrior things.
Oh yeah,
and they have just the offensive power to do that. And we don't always have. It doesn't feel like we have that this year. We were an amazing offensive team last year, but something is different. But the fact that they're 2 and 5 and they were able to claw back and not quit. I think says a lot about the team. And also Jimmy's comments earlier in the week, talking about how he didn't give a shit about the record. They're going to win a championship. I mean, it's just nice to hear that. It's nice to hear him talk like, what Heat Twitter used to sound like.
Somebody needs to be confident because the fan base ain't.
No.
Tiff, to Brass's point, like when the Heat come out in the fourth quarter, they cut the 8-point lead to 2. And then immediately it's increased back to 8. Right? Like you're expecting this team to fold this year because that's what we've seen over and over again. Like they make these comebacks. They get right up to the precipice and boom, like it just falls apart. And what I saw tonight, it wasn't just defense. Like a lot of times you feel like it's over because they can't score. Tonight they had shooters on the floor when that collapse was quote unquote happening, and you're able to get back in it. Duncan hits a 3, Max hits a 3, Kyle hits a 3. Now it's like that margin for error is a lot bigger where you can play defense and you can score at the same time.
Well, you got to find a way to keep shooters on the floor.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. You gotta,
Take her out, Bress. Take her out.
you gotta find a way. You gotta find a way to play these guys and keep them in rhythm.
Yeah, and honestly, Siobhan, sometimes I feel like the hook is a little bit too quick on some of our shooters.
It is, and I again, I'm not going to be one that's like riding Duncan too heavy. I have always appreciated kind of what it is that he brings. We were talking about some of the trade, I guess, packages a little while ago. I'm not trading Duncan for Jay. Y'all can do that. I'm not doing that. But I agree. And, I don't know that there's been, sure are undefeated in November. Carla Tiana, you better talk about it. I don't know that there's been a real reason for Duncan to have not gotten some minutes. Like, it's not like the defense has been stellar, so he would have been out there fucking that up. Like, there wasn't much he could have made worse on that end. And he feels relieved to me. Like, he doesn't feel – so he had, like, his 2 seasons ago, he had, like, his big season, and then he got his contract, and it felt like, maybe there was some pressure or he wasn't shooting well. He feels just relieved. He feels like he's gone through the cycles of that, and he can just come out and kind of just hoop, and he's playing with a level of confidence. But you're right in that they've been too quick to kind of go away from it, and that is what is allowed them tonight to kind of not panic. And to your point about maybe we would have expected them to throughout the season or so far into the season. I think tonight I expected them not to, because the first 7 games of the season has felt so defeatist, has felt so lackluster and just so poorly disposed. So for them to have come out and given up against this team tonight would have really sucked. Like, it wouldn't have felt good at all. But it is a factor. You can take me out. It is a product of being able to play with more juice and more movement, more fluidity, and kind of just more liveliness all around. Defense too, like Max and Duncan, they're not stellar defensively, but they're strong enough bodies. They've improved, and so you're not like they're not being hunted in the way that I think that they used to be, or at least doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like people are able to kind of fully pick on them. And now they're also giving you what they're giving you offensively.
See, and it's just in 2022, I just don't think that you could be so worried about defense that you can't score, because everybody can score now, right? Like, you're so worried about defense, you're like, well, we'll just put 5 defenders on the floor and nobody who really spaces. Like, you saw the way it looks different with 2 real floor spacers out there.
Also, that's to the point. Jimmy being willing to shoot is a nice thing too.
Yeah.
Like, him letting that corner shit go without kind of hesitation, that's going to help a lot too.
He worked on that. He's making it a point to add that to his arsenal.
Yeah. But and so to kind of talk about some of the things that we're talking about right now when it comes to this season, we have our new segment. We didn't have the opening last week. We have it this week. It's time to look at some stats.
So I was off.
What's that?
Do it again.
Do one more.
It's very sexy.
It feels like the shit Max is dancing to on the train. Like, it feels like.
Oh, we gotta put that together.
That's what he's listening to. That's what he's listening to.
That's what he's listening to in practice.
That's the playlist.
All right, let's
And
get
then
on
just
to it.
Max.
All right,
Like
so
Boogie Nights.
talking about the Heat's offense, so this was jarring to me, and this is per Juan Carlos Pardino, who is at Kelly O'Burner on Twitter, and John Jablanca, who is at John Jablanca on Twitter. You guys can follow them. They're both writing. Check out the MiamiHeatBeat.com website. They're both writing for the website this season.
Yes.
A lot of really, really good articles, really good stuff. If you really want to dig deep into some of the numbers. It's not just numbers with these guys. They also, like Siobhan, they do look at the video. They look at tape. But Jimmy Butler for the Heat, with him on, the Heat are a 116.8 offense, right? That's 70th percentile. When he is off, they are 94.5 points per 100 possession, which is 0th percent. I don't even 0th.
Yeah, last. That's dead last.
It's off.
Listen, okay.
That's how they do it. That's how the nerds do it, Alf. I don't know what to tell you.
0th. Put it
100%.
plainly, the Heat are the worst offense in the NBA every time Jimmy Butler sits on the bench, right? So there's a lot of people saying Jimmy lost a step. He's too old. Blah blah blah. Listen, he is still the best offensive player on this team, and he is the engine that drives the offense. What they need to do is not drop off a fucking cliff every time he sits on the bench.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Idea.
Don't do that. And tonight,
Put it on the board.
Who are the guys that kept him afloat while he was on the bench? Guys like Duncan, guys like Max, guys like Gabe didn't score, but he at least held it down defensively. So, and we've talked about it a little bit, and we'll get into it with this next stat. Go ahead and put this up, Brass. So we just talked about Jimmy offensively. Now with Bam defensively, the Heat with Bam on are 107.1 points per 100 possessions. That's 85th percentile in the NBA. That's really fucking good. With him off, they are 129.6, which is 0th again percentile.
Off.
Yeah, off. Did I say off?
Yeah.
Off. They are 0th percentile. So they are the worst defensive team in the league when Bam sits. Right?
That makes sense.
So what is this saying? Right? Like
there can literally be no minutes without either of them.
What the problem has been before tonight is that when Bam or Jimmy sits, this team is awful. The drop off from those guys to their backups, from Bam to, let's say, Dwayne Dedmon, and from Jimmy to whoever you want to call Jimmy's backup, because there really isn't a Jimmy backup, has been so bad. And honestly, that is kind of encapsulates what the season has been. And if you look at tonight, when those guys sat, the team was actually still pretty good. And that's like Tiff. That's all I say. Don't be a disaster when those guys sit on the bench.
That's it.
Or they can just play 48 minutes, Joey.
Well,
Yeah, I like that. I mean, we just need to play our two best players the whole time.
Yeah.
Every minute of every game.
I'm sorry. The whack-a-mole pony thing was like
It's throwing all you guys off. Like I'm trying to talk about.
I'm just wondering where he'll be next.
Oh, yeah.
Someone says, "Damn, we've evolved from the eye test. Now we've got stats." You see, I'm way less comfortable talking about stats than I am talking about eye tests.
Eye test? Is that a Tyler Herro joke? Today of all time? Come on.
Wow.
Seriously. Yeah.
Inappropriate. Inappropriate.
You did great, Alf. You handled that segment right.
I know. But I do kind of think it backs up the eye test that we've been talking about, Moose. Like every time Bam sits, the fucking team sucks. Like
the drop off for those two players in particular, in terms of their backup, I dare say it's like unlike anything you see in any other roster. These guys, when they step off of the floor, our offensive and defensive mentality just completely goes away. It's really frustrating. It's something that they do need to figure out because, look, until we get to the playoffs, they're not going to be playing every single minute of the game. So something's got to give at some point.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about 34, 35 minutes per game. That leaves 13 to 14 minutes a game, Siobhan, where you need to not be awful, right?
God awful.
And what I think at least offensively, what they did last year is when Jimmy was off the floor, they just had a bunch of G League guys that would shoot the shit out the ball, right? And this season, we haven't seen it as much. They're not shooting as many threes. The ball movement hasn't been there until tonight. But I'm talking about before tonight, like we haven't seen that from the bench. We're starting to finally see it again a little bit.
Yeah, it's been loading the last couple of games, But with regards and again, like everyone's role is different. So even what the time to flip Bam for picks looked great tonight. Yep, call it in. So like Jimmy and Bam don't have actual backup guys. Like there's no one actually backing them up, and the people that come in for them are playing different styles. Like Max as Jimmy's backup, they don't do the same thing. At least you used to have Caleb as Jimmy backup, and there was some things that they do similarly, but now Caleb is starting. And so when you elevate or when you bring other people into the starters, you must then also backfill those positions, and they kind of haven't. You see like Max and Gabe, at least up till now, having to do the things that it was that they were doing last year, but also being asked to do more while not having the relief of someone kind of like coming in for them. But I think as long as they continue to move it and not let the ball stick and get back to sharing the ball the way that this team has to and overwhelming people by group effort, then they should be okay.
Yeah, and someone threw me off with Caleb only played 19 minutes, and I did not realize that.
Oh, yeah, he didn't play like the whole second half. And that's what I was going to mention earlier. They left Duncan in like not the whole second half, the whole fourth quarter. Like Duncan played most of the fourth quarter. Gabe's been getting a lot of fourth quarter minutes, but like Caleb was nowhere down the stretch.
And you know what's funny? Man, before we go into it, I do want to go into it after. I want to let Brass call out some subs. And we do have a couple more segments to get to. But I do want to call out the fact that when we talk about Jimmy sitting and the offense falling off of a cliff, there was a player on the bench last year that buoyed the offense. And people think it's a slight to say that maybe he needs to go back to the bench. We'll talk about that in a second. Go ahead, Brass, because that's Pandora's box we about to get into. Go ahead,
crack
Brass.
that door open and then go.
It's a real thing.
All right, so we need to shout out some people who very generously gave us some subs tonight. Darth Gojira 80 resubscribed for 1 month at tier 1. Thank you for that. It's Mac Pro resubscribed for 1 month at tier 1. Said no hero, no problem. What do you think of that, Moose?
I say drive. Don't matter who wins the win,
Tez
baby.
Pickett resubscribed for 1 month at tier 1. Let's see. Heat Culture Lifer resubscribed with Prime and said, "Bam." Once again, you can subscribe to Twitch. You can send us a free sub on Amazon Prime if you have that. So don't forget to do that. Eric the Great 539 gave out 5 community gift subs. Bushy Parrot, thank you so much. Subscribe with Prime, thank you for that. I Can Be Your Hero gave out 5 community gift subs.
The best.
One time for the subs. Drive.
You should wait to the end, Moose, but whatever. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's see. We have
the segment was over.
I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Eternal Sky Emperor, something like that. Resubscribe with 1 month at tier 1. Thank you for that. And J Jock resubscribe for 1 month at tier 1. That's 22 months straight for J Jock 44. So thank you so much for all your support. It's good to be back on you. It's good to be back on Twitch. We absolutely love you guys. You guys are like nothing else. Trust me, and I know we all feel that way. So thank you. Good to be back with you.
Brad's talking about that 5 Reasons YouTube feed.
All right, go ahead. Shoot your shots, Brad.
Just saying, Brad.
They were just a little. They were a little rough. I mean, it's fine.
They were good last week.
They were good last time. Yeah, they were good last week.
I just hate Giancarlo. Listen.
Same.
It's not Siobhan, I'll give it to you. Talk about the Tyler starting versus the bench thing. I have my own thoughts about it, and it's been a hot topic on Heat Twitter. Whether this team is better with Tyler coming off the bench as a 6th man.
So, and I was about to preface things. I'm not about to preface anything. I don't dislike Tyler, but there are things to that whole argument. I think that with Tyler starting, you get less of what it is that you got today. With Tyler starting, you get less movement, and it's not entirely his fault because once the score gets going, the adage is you feed the hot hand. You cannot apply that in a starting lineup because that is not how you generate the kind of overwhelming mountain of momentum and kind of the avalanche feel that you get pouring in on you from all directions. It would be one thing to me, Tiff and I have talked. Me and Tiff talk like every other day on the phone. And she brought it up that he's playing still kind of with his 6-man of the year mindset, and that doesn't translate well into the starters because it does take touches and take feel away from the starters who need it, like I said, to galvanize kind of that whole effort. And the way that he scores kind of feels differently than it does when you have Jimmy and Bam and Kyle and whomever else, Caleb Max or whomever else doing it with them. And what it also has done is left the bench scoring, left a lot to be desired for the bench scoring. So it's kind of destabilized the starters just a little bit and kind of left a hole on the bench when, shout out to you, you almost got cussed out. I read the end of that. But no, it's kind of destabilized the starters just a little bit and left a little bit of a hole kind of in where the bench has needed it. And it sucks, and it's not his fault. Before tonight, the 2 games that we won, he has had 14 points, but everyone else has been able to contribute, and it just feels different. I personally prefer him coming off of the bench. I know other people have their feel, but just for the kind of good of the team and the stabilization of the whole group, I think it fits and it works better a little bit that way.
Okay, we're going to get back to this topic because I do have my own hot takes on it. I don't even think it's really a hot take. I think it's kind of a measured take, which is not as sexy as a hot take. But what we're going to do a lot this year for home games, for Hangover Time, we're partnering a lot this year with 5 Reasons Sports, where 5 Reasons has reporters on the ground at Heat games, in the locker rooms. So what we're trying to do is after home games, we're going to go live to one of the 5 on the floor guys. And tonight, extra special guest, we have Mr. Ethan Skolnick live from the I keep wanting to say AAA Arena. Live from the FTX Arena.
What?
Let's go to live on the floor.
Damn, Brass, that's pretty cool. I like.
Thank you.
So you guys realize.
Wait,
Go ahead.
Ethan.
I'll stop talking. Go ahead, Alf. I'm used to this. I'm used to Alf.
With your headphones.
It's always my headphones. Look.
Why does it look like
That's
that?
terrible.
I'm not
Look at that.
them.
Look at that.
Has changed.
Nothing has
How
changed.
long have those been in your back pocket?
No, this is what
7.5
they
years.
always look like.
7.5 years. I can't get AirPods. I'll lose them in the first minute. You know that.
I'm not them.
By the
I'm
way,
sorry.
by the way, Alf, because I'm doing this, I've left Alex to hold Draymond Green accountable right now.
Oh,
He's holding Draymond accountable as we speak in the Warriors interview room. So
You about to
Wow.
punch him in the face.
I
like
saw
that.
what happened to
my
Jordan
left.
Poole. So.
this is going to be an international incident.
But go ahead, Ethan. What was going on in the locker room tonight?
Who do we get in the locker room? Duncan Robinson was happy to see us. He said that long time no see as soon as we walked up to his locker. So I kind of feel sorry for sad Duncan. Kyle spoke. I could hardly hear a word because he spoke so low. I'm not sure he wants to see me anyway. But the 2 of them were in the locker room. Steve Kerr was whining a lot about the Jordan Poole carries. He said, yes, it's a carry, but everybody in the league does it, and I must have missed the email that they started calling it today. I will say this: nobody in the league does it like Jordan Poole, though.
Egregious.
There's
ridiculous.
nobody who does it like Jordan Poole. So he was complaining about that, but other than that, he was talking about the Heat zone, which I thought was a good adjustment from Spo in the fourth quarter. It's kind of necessary when Duncan's playing heavy 4-quarter minutes, so I think it was sort of an adjustment by necessity. But look, this is a huge win for them. There's no question. This season, if you look at their upcoming schedule, their next 7, they should be favored in at least 6. So to me, it was just get the season settled right now. Don't let it spiral out of control. They did that tonight in the last 3 minutes, mostly with their defense and with Jimmy waking up at the end. And now they could go on a little bit of a run that will make people feel better about them for just a little while. So I thought it's not a statement win early in the season, but it was kind of a win to keep the season from going out of control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt the same, Ethan. I felt like they have a nice little stretch coming up here, but at 2-6, Even if it would have just felt a whole lot different. 3-5 feels very close to 500. You win 5 out of the next 7. 6 out of the next 7. You feel a lot better about the team and about them going forward.
Yeah, I mean, and look, nobody in the East other than Milwaukee is really running away, right? So, I mean, you're still okay. Like, Boston, yes, but look, Philadelphia's been a disaster. Brooklyn's obviously a train wreck. I don't think Atlanta's better than them ultimately once they get their act together. And Cleveland is really good. So, Cleveland is a serious challenger for a top 4 seed, but they can still be in position for a top 4, top 5 seed this season. But I've covered these kind of years where it starts to go out of control early, and then guys start to fracture, and then they start to complain about minutes and complain about shots, and some of that was already happening, Kyle. And so this could have gone completely off the tracks tonight, and it didn't. And so I think it was necessary. And again, for them to do it with their defense was important because I thought they really executed the zone well late in the game. They didn't give them the kind of looks that they were expecting to get. And look, Golden State right now is not playing great either, especially on the road. Their bench is a mess. He's playing a lot of young guys. Miami took advantage of it, so credit to them tonight. But I just feel like this settles everything down, at least for 5 minutes on Heat Twitter. Maybe. Probably not.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Moose. You got a question?
Yeah, Ethan, I think the topic on everyone's mind, Tyler's eye, is it still in place?
Nobody cares about that.
No. Everyone wants to know. This is the main topic. Tyler Herro. Can he see?
I mean, he's making $120 million. If he can't, he'll just get fake eyes. It's fine. He'll be all right.
Do you think he'll play tomorrow?
Iffy. When I talked to people in the locker room, they weren't quite sure. If he doesn't, they'll probably start Strus, which I think they're fine with. And I think, look, to me, watching this tonight up close, you can't get around the fact that Kyle Lowry can't get around anybody. And that is what I think we're going to be talking about for the next 2-3 months. And look, I think when they start to rest Kyle, which I think they will, or maybe he takes another break for personal reasons or whatever, and Gabe gets some starts, it might be a situation where we're going to have even more discussions about this going forward. Because I thought Kyle gutted it out in the fourth quarter today, but he just looks to me like a guy who's got nothing left. And I don't know how they're going to be able to nurse him throughout the entire season as a starter. That's just the way I see it.
Ethan, you have thoroughly upset Giancarlo Navas in the chat.
That was the entire objective. But look, Kyle can't get past G right now, and I don't know what kind of shape G's in, but.
Oh no!
I drove from the arena to argue because I saw that you were on and I knew you were going to come after my guy. I sped on the 836. I don't know what they're doing on that.
Well, you were the one speeding because he wasn't, G. But let me ask you this. So let me ask you, what are you seeing that I'm not? Because I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, but he looks to me like Tim Hardaway's last season in Miami.
Yeah, he can't.
That's what he looks to me like.
He can't turn the corner on a pick and roll, and when he does, the help comes too fast.
Yes.
I will say that I thought he was huge in their transition defense today, which has been horrific all year.
Yes.
That was big time. I thought the way that he organized the offense, especially in the second half when Jimmy went off, the pick and rolls with Bam, I thought were good. I thought his passes were a lot more accurate today than they have been. Jimmy fumbled one under the rim that was a good pass for a layup.
All right, G, I'm going to stop you. Can I stop you?
What?
I love
On behalf of everyone.
Someone has to speak for this man.
No, I love you and I miss you, but I got to stop you. Look, okay, here's the thing about this, okay? You're treating him like
a role player. I mean, yes, I know. I'm aware. I'm treating him like if he's Gabe Vincent.
He's making $28 million on the open market. What is Kyle Lowry worth right now?
Oh God, I'm sure the Knicks would overpay.
$10 million would be an overpay right now. G. $10 million would be an overpay.
and like, come on. I mean, it's barely been.
He's
10
an
games.
8. He's an 8 to 10, but it's not going to get better. It's not going to get better. That's the thing. If he can't get by anybody, and he can't guard at the point of attack. Their point of attack defense improves exponentially when Gabe is playing. Would you agree with that?
I think it depends on the matchup. I think for quicker matchups, I agree. But I think, like, for example, like against the Bucks, I think Kyle's a better matchup for that because he can guard bigger guys, not faster guys. And I think you need both in the playoffs.
All these slow point guards in the league.
Yeah,
No,
I was
I
about
mean,
to say,
listen,
the NBA is all about slow.
No, and I'm with you, Jay.
Because he won't guard the point guard because he guards Middleton, and they have like Caleb or Jimmy.
Well, no, here,
Drew.
Ethan, I have a question because
Yes.
I hear a lot of people on the Gabe train, and I love Gabe. I think he's one of the best backup point guards in the league. But if Gabe scored his first points of the game in the third quarter,
Right.
If Gabe Vincent had the starter spotlight on him, he would be getting crushed by Heat fans, like absolutely crushed. Like it's one of those be careful what you wish for things because I like Gabe a lot, but Gabe as an energy guy off the bench playing hellacious defense is a lot different than a guy who's supposed to be running your offense this season.
Yeah, I'm with you, and everybody loves the backup quarterback. But to me, why can't Gabe Vincent fill the Mario Chalmers role as a starter?
Because they don't have Dwayne Wade or LeBron James.
Well, he has Jimmy Butler. I mean, to me, Gabe's going to play off of Tyler in a way that's not going to get in his way. I understand it. I don't know that Gabe's ready to be a full-time starting point guard, but I do know they need to make a decision on him in the next year because they're going to have to pay him. They're going to have to pay him, and they're going to have to pay Strus. And you're looking at ridiculous luxury tax numbers for this team. And Mickey's not going to pay it like Golden State's going to pay it, particularly if that Carnival stock stays at $10. Okay, so to me, I think they need to see it, and I think there's going to be opportunities to see it because I don't think. Let's say this, and I know the personal stuff he was dealing with is not, and I hope that works out for him. Okay, I know that's not totally gone. Okay, and so I wouldn't be surprised if he takes another, break this season at some point, or they just sort of, they monitor his minutes and monitor his games to keep him fresh for the playoffs. Gabe is going to get. I said before the year, Gabe's going to get 20 starts. He's going to get 20 starts, and you're going to get an idea of what he does in those 20 starts. And you know what their record was in his starts last year? They won
73.
Yeah, better than that. Yeah, they won more than 75% of their games last year with Gabe starting. So I think for this particular team, Gabe could start and be effective, okay? And I do think they need to make a decision on him. Look, I'm not out on Kyle contributing for this team, but I'm out on expectations with Kyle. I don't see – I see last year Tim Hardaway. Like, I'm seeing that same guy, like the guy that at the end, it was like people wanted Tim to play, but it wasn't there anymore. It's just not there anymore. He doesn't get – I used to love Kyle. Gee, I was with you. I was a Kyle Lowry stan. He's not – he's like a shell of himself. He's not the same guy.
I'll say this, Ethan, and I think the Portland game is a good example of like what he gives us unique. He's a heads-up guy, gets him downhill really quick, like down the court really quick, I should say. And that's just an element that not many guards, LeBron has that. He has a vision that is special. He can get you down the floor quickly. And I agree with you that, and we all knew that it was an overpay because that's what you do when you're close to a title. You overpay for a guy that you're going to get fucked the last couple of years of the deal. You know that, right? Like this is not, obviously this was going to happen. And even last year, there were moments that he looked like he couldn't get by guys. And with like 3 days of rest, he looked like he was zooming. That's going to happen. But I just think on the high end of what he brings you, the way that he can organize you, the way that he can shoot off the dribble, the quick release, the way that he plays defense against bigger players, and the way that he can speed you up and kind of get that tempo change, that is just, he's just, I feel bad because I love Gabe. It's not fair to compare them. I think.
Did you see how different the ball movement was, G, when they subbed out the starters?
Talk.
Yeah, but that's not on Kyle. That's also like less Jimmy. There have the
no. Jimmy is part of that too. There's no question. Jimmy plays into that also.
The way that Duncan and Max screen off the ball, like it's just different. That's not fair because also Tyler is not like a ball mover either. So obviously,
watch your mouth.
When Tyler and Jimmy are out of the game, and it's like Gabe, Kyle, Bam, and other shooters. Obviously, that's going to be like a more.
Let me ask you guys this question, and we'll start with Ethan. If Gabe is a starter, can you start? If Gabe is a starter, can you start Caleb? Or do you need a 3-point shooter out there somewhere? Like
no. I think you could. I think you'd start Caleb. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is Kyle Lowry going to willingly come off the bench? I don't think he would. I think he's. I don't think he's Dwayne or Goran in terms of accepting that. I think he's more like Westbrook or Iverson in terms of accepting it. Not quite that far, but I don't think he's going to be down with it. And here's the other thing. I don't think Jimmy's going to be down with it. I think that's the other issue here. But I keep coming back to this, and this is a point that I think should be debated. Is everybody's talking about not getting Jimmy enough help, right? Like that's still the narrative out there, right? They didn't get Jimmy enough help. They got Jimmy the guy he wanted. They got Jimmy the guy he wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, Jimmy's not gonna. I mean, and not only that, I'm not saying Goran Dragic should be a starting point guard on the team because Goran is well past the days of being a starting point guard. But what I'm saying is, I mean, Jimmy authorized the trade of his best friend on the team for his best friend in life. Okay, and that's what this was about. And you're right, they did overpay. They knew they were overpaying. They told me they were overpaying before they did it. They said we didn't want to give him the 30 year. No, but they flat out said it. Like the highest levels of the organization told me. They said we know we're overpaying, but we need to do this because we feel there are about 8 to 10 teams that can win a title over the next couple of years. We want to be one of those teams. Jimmy wants him. And they were. You're right. Exactly. And it worked to a certain degree. But what I'm saying is they know they're going to have an issue next year. And the question becomes then, is Gabe ready to step in as a starting point guard? And does Kyle become sort of an attractive expiring contract maybe halfway through next season? But how do you kind of nurse it between now and then? That's the thing. But I don't think he's going to willingly come off the bench. But I also don't think I don't think that the Lowry Herro backcourt is ever going to really work. I don't. And that's the problem because you can't put Tyler back on the bench now. You cannot. Okay.
Thank you.
Right. But you just from a team structure standpoint, you've told him he's going to be a starter. You told him he earned the starting job. I don't know that Victor Oladipo is ever going to play significant minutes for this team. Okay. I broke this on our off the floor feed today. I talked to prominent people tonight. They basically told me with Victor, it's going to be weeks. Okay. Said not months, but weeks. So I'm like, okay, so I don't know. Is it like a week and 2 months? A month and 2 weeks? It's not going to be until
It's always 6 to 8 weeks.
It's yeah. You guys are the same. Wait, Dion's gonna be back in 6 to 8, right? I mean,
Miami Heat beat. It's always 6 to 8 weeks.
It's always 6 to. That's kind of what they were saying. It's about 6 to 8 weeks. I don't think you rely on Depot. So okay, remember he was supposed to challenge Herro for a starting 2-guard spot. That's not going to happen. I think they're better off splitting them and playing Lowry with Strus. But Kyle's not going to accept the bench. And you can't put Tyler back on the bench now. You cannot. Not when he's averaging 20 as a starter.
They gotta, at the end of the day, shout out to Alex. They gotta figure out how to play Kyle, Tyler, Bam, and Jimmy. That has to work. Like if they're gonna win a title, those 4 guys have to figure it out. Whether they start or whatever, those 4 guys have to be in on the floor in important minutes. They're like the highest paid guys minus Duncan or whatever. Like that. They have to like whether one of them goes to the bench or not. Feels a little irrelevant, and by the way, they still don't have a power forward. Like that's the other element to all of this. Like,
but they'll have a power forward eventually.
I agree. Yeah,
in talking to folks, they will have one eventually. They're going to wait till those contracts are available for trade. It'll probably be sometime in January, and Caleb will go back to kind of be a super sub role, which they're very comfortable with him in. And Caleb has not been the problem. Okay, it's just that. I'm with you, but the problem is I don't think the Lowry Herro backcourt works. I don't think their chemistry together exists. Like when we looked at Dragic and Wade, right? They struggled, right? People forget this. The first year and a half that Goran and Dwayne played together, Goran stood in the damn corner, okay? While Dwayne did everything at the top. Goran deferred to him completely. But again, those 2 guys, at least they were somewhat similar age set, similar sensibility. The Lowry Herro thing is never going to work. It's just not. But I don't know how you that's my opinion. I just don't know how you separate the 2.
They were great last year. I just looked at the numbers. In almost 1,000 minutes, they had a +6 net rating. This year, it's literally the opposite. They're -6 net rating this year.
Well, no, what I will say is Lowry's gotten a year older, and the defense to me is defensively. Offensively, yes. I feel like offensively, I feel like if you're gonna tell me Gabe or Kyle, who is going to be better off ball? I feel like Kyle is going to be a better off ball player defensively. Those 2 together, man. I at some point you have to make a decision. And the thing is, I really don't want to. I don't like getting caught up in all the starter stuff. But they can't keep coming in. They can't be 8 points down at the at the 6-minute mark every single game.
They need Strus to save them every single night.
I'll say this, Ethan. So I'm kind of like navigating the lineup data from last year. Bam makes a difference defensively in those lineups last year. They were giving up a ton of points on defense. They were still positive because the offense is so good. When the 3 of them, when Bam, Lowry, and Herro on the floor together, they're +12 last year. And the defense is good. And I think Kyle is still good on defense. I think that I think he's had a couple moments where he gets burned because he's a little slower laterally. I think that's a little overblown. Positionally, he's still very good. Has very quick hands. Makes very I think that the Heat have always been, and I think they have a lot of players who are good in like emergency defensive situations. Like good example, Kyle in that fast break broke up a would-be layup that really kind of allowed them. I think they got a 3 on the other end, huge play, and they're just all really good at that. And they all have they're a very smart team. They're not as smart as the Allen, Miller, Udonis, that genius team that they had together, but they have a lot of really smart guys. And I really think they can figure it out. They have the best head coach in the league. There's a lot of permutations to the lineup that make sense. I have concerns like you do, and I agree with everything you say. I just think that they need a couple stabilization.
That's a first.
roster.
Yeah, Alf does it for sure.
They just
So you agree that Kyle Lowry's washed? Great.
No. Okay, so honestly, I want to let Ethan go because and look, there's been a couple times that security looks like they're about to tackle him.
Like this. No, they're mopping. They're mopping behind me.
It just looks like a bad situation for you at times. Siobhan,
I'll slip and end up in a hospital. But yeah, I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Brady's corporate takeover starts now
Ethan.
when you slip.
Real quick,
right.
Siobhan had one quick question for Ethan. Go ahead, Siobhan.
Yes, go ahead.
You said I love the Kyle Gabe conversation too. I kind of want to get on it. We don't have time. That's cool. You said that Kerr talked about the adjustment in the Miami zone in the second half. Can you give a little bit more light on that? Because I don't like the way that it looked in the first game, and that kind of like weird 2-3. The middle was very, very open. And I feel like in the fourth, they went away from like a 2-3 into more of like a 3-2, so that they were better able to cover down and cover the person in the middle. What were Kerr's comments? I guess.
He didn't get specific on it. He just said it gave them trouble that they weren't used to seeing it so much, which is interesting because he's coached with Spo, so he kind of knows that Spo will throw it as adjustment. But I did think they were more aggressive at the top, so I'm with you on more of the 3-2 stuff, which I do think works for them better at times. I just think, to me, it's a Duncan adjustment. Like once Eric knew that Duncan was going to play heavy minutes in the fourth. Remember, he didn't come back with Strus until very late. He took Strus out with about 6.5 left, and he rode Duncan there for a while. And so to me, the zone was more about the Heat's personnel than it was about Golden State's personnel. But it was much more effective than it was the last time. But Kerr spent most of his time complaining about Jordan Poole's carries, so he did mention the zone, but he was whining about that. So that's pretty much the way that they went. But I think Eric's going to use it more with certain lineups going forward. I do, because I don't think he trusts man with a lot of these guys. And that, again, just to close the loop on this, G, that's my issue here, which I understand Kyle being a smart player, and I don't want to pile on here, but I didn't think they got Kyle to basically, bump up against power forwards while the Heat's power forward has to guard the opposing point guard all the time. Like, to me, that was not the purpose of this. Kyle was supposed to be a very good on-ball defender. I don't see it. And that's why I'm with Alf. That's why I think it's a problem. It's not so much the offense, although I don't think Kyle likes Tyler getting so many shots. You can read between the lines of some of his comments lately. But to me, it's the defense. It's the defense. And you just leave Jimmy Caleb, and Bam with too much to cover up. And then you can't play another bad defender with them because if Kyle's not a plus defender. So that becomes an issue here. But we'll see. Kyle was better in the fourth, and, he made some big plays. But I think this is going to be an ongoing conversation this year. To me, their weak link is their $28 million point guard.
Last thing. Being an elite on-ball defender is different than being not a plus defender. He's still a plus defender. I will push that on that a second. And Christian Hernandez tweeted out interesting data just now between Kyle, Tyler, and Jimmy, the three of them. When Tyler is the one that's off, they're plus 10 per 100 possessions. When Jimmy's the one off, minus 52 per 100 possessions. When Kyle's the one off, minus 11 per 100 possessions. And they're better without Tyler. Like, Tyler's
you know what? Nobody cares about your numbers.
And it's not. And I don't want to put blame on anyone. They got to figure it out. They got to figure it out.
I do think they'll figure it out. Ethan, we're going to let you go. I just want you to, next time, I need you to hold Spo accountable, because Hot Take Harry said Duncan Robinson is not part of the rotation, and apparently he is. And
is he?
that is that. No,
didn't Hot Take trade Duncan for 2 seconds? I thought he traded. 2 second rounders in 2072. Yes, that's right.
Ethan, we appreciate.
Gotta hoard those assets. Hot Take. Gotta hoard those assets. That's right.
That would have got
a good night, everybody.
That would have got
Harry
you
loves those
assets.
I'm gonna go rescue Alex from Draymond.
Okay.
Oh, God.
I don't want him losing the job already.
Thank you, Ethan.
Appreciate you,
Bye.
Ethan. Thank you very much.
Oh my God,
tremendous.
that was
segment. Good
amazing.
segment.
I'm not. I don't want to do that because I think Tyler's been good. I don't put that shit on me. I was just Christian put interesting numbers and
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky.
don't put that evil on me. I love that boy.
You brought it up.
I love that boy.
Nah,
I thought Caleb hit him in the face when I was at the arena. I didn't get a good advantage.
it was
was Moses.
Michael Green.
It was-
I don't know if Kyle's a plus defender as much as a big and tall defender.
Moses Moody.
Wide
One of them motherfuckers.
body.
Jermichael Green is a fucking listen. He's a menace. All right,
I love him.
I like him too. I wish he was on my team.
They
But when
have
he's
too many-
not, that motherfucker just be elbows and shoulders.
That's
Like,
that's
was
fucking
talking about-
that's
Can I say one
Vanderbilt,
thing
bro.
real quick? I was listening in the first half to the radio broadcast. I can't even tell you every single time Jax got Draymond Green and Michael Green confused.
yo,
that
every single time.
Eric Reed legit didn't know. Like somebody checked in, he saw a black dude. He was like, "Oh, we're gonna have to come back to you with who checked in for." He had no idea.
You think
He
Mike
did the same
Monty
thing.
knows?
He called Duncan Tyler. Like I don't know what's happening here
Listen.
with all the.
Yo, he was like,
That's a
Bam's had
reasonable
2 dunks tonight. Bam had 3. Eric is off his game a little bit. Maybe something's going on in personal life. I have
Warming
no
up.
idea.
Early
It's-
season.
Listen, it's
Early.
early season. He missed some preseason.
He misses
Look,
Tony.
we miss Coach Tony. There he goes.
We all
It's
do.
so fucking creepy, bro.
It's so good though. It's
So
so
fucking
good. It's so
Um,
good.
Have you guys
But
talked
listen,
about
we
the-
have been heavy basketball talk, and we like to have a good time. We like to laugh. So before we get it, and honestly, guys, we're at an hour and 6 minutes
Please
now.
stick around.
Please stick around because we have a whole lot of shit left.
You have
Even
like
with just
half a
talking
show
so
still
much.
left to do.
We were talking so much. It was great. It was good.
was
Him
awesome.
and G were going back and forth. But we do have a few more segments for you. And the first one is one of my favorites. It's the Joey House Shower 2-minute comedy hour.
Yes.
I don't think I ever seen a name right.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope everyone's good. I mean, what a crazy week for basketball, right? I mean, first you got to start with that Josh Primo stuff, right? I mean, I guess potential wasn't the only thing he flashed, right?
Hey.
All right. Come on, Josh. It's not the D your team was looking for. All right, we can keep going with that one. All right. I would say like the most crazy thing though, the most shocking would have to be the Kyrie transition, right? Because he went from Uncle Drew to anti-Semite. I mean, I love how he did that. That was
I
great.
thought you were going to do Uncle Tom. And I was about to
Wordplay.
be
I was so nervous.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Uncle Tom would
Wouldn't
do that. I'll do
on
that joke
camera.
next week.
But I mean, what are you gonna do? In other news, I did hear that Robert Sarver and Donald Sterling are actually trying to create a new team in the Texas area. They're gonna call it the San Antonio Slurs, because what they've done. Okay. All right. No, seriously, but could you imagine like letting just a couple sleazeballs make a team? Like, what if like they were given like a WNBA team? That would be a terrible idea because we would only get like teams like, oh, welcome back the Seattle Sweethearts or the Houston Hystericals. You know, like that's something I could see those dudes doing for sure. That's a lot of basketball news. Some personal news. I just started dating a new girl. She's a real
she know?
dime. She's a real dime, and by that I mean she looks just like FDR, especially from the side. Boom. The one bad thing though about her is that she does have a kid, which makes fooling around a lot harder. But I did figure out a solution because eventually we do need someone to hold the camera. Jesus. All right, I'm gonna end on that one, guys.
Wow. Joey.
Brass asked me if I wanted to do it, and it's always a mistake.
Well, you know what? At least he got G out of here. So
I loved
Yeah.
it. I loved it.
Welcome back, Joey.
Oh my God, it's been so long since we've done that. It's great.
Look at Jay. Just couldn't handle.
I
honestly,
love his
right there, that's the best bit of content that he's brought us all night. Just right here.
Wait, let's see what the audience thinks of that. They love it. They love it when Jay's not there.
All right, guys. So another segment that we like to do towards the end of the show, we like to look around the league. There's a lot of funny shit. Since we're doing Hangover Time once a week, there's a lot of great shit, funny shit that happens from. I mean, when was the last time we did? Last Wednesday. There's been a lot of great shit that's happened since then. So we like to look at what they're doing over there.
Oh shit! What they doing over there?
Legit, that's the best opening.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
It's
I
the
want to
best
make it my
opening.
ringtone.
Oh, look at
sorry.
Ross here.
Here goes.
Oh.
Those big ass
Listen,
doinks.
I have done that at LA Fitness. I understand. Now here goes Anthony Davis.
This big bitch.
Call him straight. What you call him?
Nothing.
This big bitch.
Doctor says I need a backiotomy.
He hurt his
Hold on
feelings.
the rim too long and hurt his lower back. I know how that feels.
Separated his damn spine.
Oh, but it's okay because they won.
They won their first. I'm mad that they poured mop bucket water on this motherfucker.
Well, did you see LeBron poured his foot ice water shit on him? That's
That is-
disgusting.
Bro, that is
Jesus.
disgusting.
His feet not cute enough for that.
It's like a hazing ceremony.
You know,
It's not.
you
Oh,
got feet like Ben
Patrick
Vereen.
Beverley.
Like you can't just be. Oh, I got all kinds
Like a
of
ballerina.
LeBron got yabba dabba doo.
listen to Kyrie here.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Shoot it, Ben.
Oh,
Listen.
Oh, look at this.
That's very Kyrie not liking a shot. I'm just saying.
I'm also about not listening to Kyrie Irving, except in that instance.
what on?
You see how bug-eyed Nash's eyes got? Can you run that back?
I've
That's
never
the
seen
most
him
emotions
so
he's had all
animated.
year.
Show
Exactly.
me
Bro, have you ever known somebody who wanted to leave a job? This is how they act.
Look at
What?
his eyes.
You're gonna call a tech on me?
I didn't leave the burgers on the grill that long. Motherfucker, that was Jerome. That was
Yo,
Ty
his
Jerome.
left eye is about to pop out.
Oh my God.
He was taking out every single frustration he's had this year on that poor ref.
Too much.
Jeez.
Well, speaking of the Nets,
That was
Brass,
aggressive.
I can't believe he waited this long. I'm surprised. We got Steve Nash because if you guys don't know,
He returned the call.
yeah, no. Well, he has time now because if you don't know, Steve Nash was fired as the Nets coach this week. And if
After
you
a
saw
win.
after a win. But you saw, that motherfucker was trying to get fired. You saw that clip. Okay. So he was fired today, unceremoniously. Apparently it was mutual. Listen, that motherfucker quit. Okay. You know, he quit before they could fire. He did not want that job any longer. But we got him because he has nothing better to do right now. So let's go ahead. Let's go out to Steve Nash. I'm not sure where he's at. I'm sure he's
Yeah,
somewhere
let's see what he's
really
up to now.
upset about losing his job. Like, he's
Big
probably,
hit.
Then. Whoa.
no, wait.
Hey guys,
Oh wow, his voice.
what are we
voice
drinking? I'm familiar
voice
with
is
the show.
lower.
Let's go. What are we drinking? What's going on over
Oh, you
there?
want to go to the segment? You seen us?
Wow,
Oh,
okay. You know-
many times. Big fan of the HOT. Big.
Whoa, what are you drinking there, man?
Hey,
As you can see right next to me in my hand, I have a Melon Gibson.
I think that's a guitar.
It's so good and anti-Semitic. Anyway, I've been practicing learning the ukulele while I've been out here.
What songs you playing?
How's it going? Like,
Just all of them, the ones with all the vowels in the names, all the ones I can't pronounce.
Freebird.
It's really nice here.
So you got out there pretty quickly, man. I mean, it was just today, right? It was just today. You were like, oh, what the hell? Were you planning this?
Yeah, you could say that. A friend of mine, one Jason Richardson, invited me out here, so I'll be having a drink with him and his kid somehow. You guys remember that?
No.
Sure.
It's very. I feel like it's a very
It's a deep cut.
Yes, it was.
It's me.
What do you think about? What do you think about being replaced so quickly? Clearly Brooklyn had this figured out. They knew they were going to make this kind of play, and sort of throw you under the bus like that. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, for sure. But you know, Nash Browns has always he's always one step ahead. So I bought the ticket. I took the ride. I am here now. That's all that matters. And you know, I'm definitely looking for you know, just something to do. But you know, do we have any questions?
Yes.
Steve,
Nash,
go, Moose, take it.
Go ahead, Sean. Ladies first.
Why couldn't you make them play better? Like, where was the disconnect, do you think, between you and your roster?
Have you seen my haircut? I don't get any respect. I have the haircut of a young soccer player, but I'm actually 45. So you can see where the disrespect stems from.
Steve,
Go ahead.
I'm just curious. Your parting words to Kyrie and KD. What'd you say to them on the way out?
Well, I legally cannot say it again, for I am in a contract still, but I did bring up the Earth and the shape of it to one of them.
Oh, okay.
I thought the whole time he was talking about fat Earth, and I was down for that, but then I heard it was flat Earth, and I said, I don't want that at all.
Steve, how do you feel about Ime Udoka replacing you as head coach after everything Ime Udoka is accused of? Right? It's pretty jarring that they would give him your job.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Have you seen his wife? I mean, come on.
What the fuck?
Steve, wait, okay, let's get down to brass tacks. Did you even want this job anymore?
I don't know. Did I? Answer is no.
Were you losing games on purpose?
Yes. Of course I was. That was
I
part
see.
of the plan.
What are you doing? What are you doing next as a white, former ex-player? What are your next goals? What are you doing next?
Come on, baby. You already know. Crypto. Ever heard of it?
Okay, so
Yep.
we do have somebody else who wants to speak their
Really?
truth on the matter.
Oh no, we got him.
Yeah, we got him.
Oh my God, I don't know about this. Oh jeez.
Oh no. No.
Oh jeez.
Your mouth.
What do you mean? Oh no. What's the oh no about? You guys are not particular to my mannerisms. You don't understand the bifocals of my manifestations. You are not particular to my wisdoms. You have no clue.
I'm a little scared to really. I don't like you being on our show, really, frankly, because you're a little bit of a loose cannon with the shit you've been saying lately, Kyrie.
See, that's the problem. You're looking at what I'm saying. You're not thinking about what I'm being. You understand what I'm saying? You're not thinking about what's in between the tweets, what's in between the posts. Yes, I promoted a movie full of anti-Semitism and hatred, but did you read the credits of the movie? Did you watch the post-credit scenes a la MCU? You have no idea.
Same beat.
You just don't get it.
Was
Did
Mephisto
you
in
watch
it?
the movie backwards, brass jazz, or should I say jazz brass? You see how that flips? You see what I say? You see what happened right there?
No.
It flips the whole definition.
It
Jazz brass and
literally
brass
doesn't.
jazz.
Jazz
Ain't the same thing. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Watch the movie in reverse before you come to me and talk about anti-Semitism.
Peace, brother.
Because in reverse, it's Semitism anti. You understand what I'm saying? See, y'all just ain't on my level. Here's what the problem is. Like it's me, Kanye, Alex Jones, and Herschel Walker. Like we are the only ones who are on this level of consciousness.
The big four.
Yeah. Thank you, Joey.
It's a hell of a smoke session.
Steve, do you have anything to say about this?